Hello and welcome back to the RattleMind podcast. I'm Rye, and joining me is my co-host.
So help me if you list all the adjectives. Okay, I guess you're not going to
No.
this time. Awesome. I'm Pangy. Just Pangy.
All right. Well, it has been a hot week so far, and it's only been like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, we were in heat advisory, which apparently the other side of the country is as well.
Yeah, here in Kansas, they just extended our heat warning. It started like on. Here, let me see. I got it pulled up here. Let's see. Well, right now it says it's going on until 9 p.m. Friday. Dangerously hot conditions with a heat index value of 105 to 120.
Criminy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
You know, in wintertime, I have no problems calling off if it snows and the roads get dangerous. In the summer, when it gets like this, can I call off for fear that my tires are literally gonna cement themselves into the concrete?
I'm surprised that sometimes that the tires don't melt, considering that the cement and concrete get so much hotter. Oh,
Maybe that's something they actually thought of when manufacturing these things.
possibly.
Like, it gets pretty damn hot in some parts of this country. We should probably hook them up.
Let's see. You guys are also under a heat advisory,
Mm-hmm.
though yours seems to end or has ended.
No,
Wait,
it hasn't. I promise you it hasn't.
no, you're for some reason your people who do issue the advisories just issue a new advisory every time. Because yeah, there's one that says from Thursday from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Though you have an air quality
Mm.
alert.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm kind of used to seeing that. I haven't noticed being very affected by that. You know, I'm sure I have been. I just haven't noticed. But I feel like I see that one a lot. So it's not good. But we've been affected by the Canada wildfires for a long time. I think that's like recently started on the decline.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about them lately, but then again, there have been such weird weather events just this week, with
Mm-hmm.
California having a hurricane hit it. And
Yeah. Markiplier mentioned that. He said it was um first one in 100 years or something like that. I can't remember,
yeah, even
but it's pretty crazy.
the LA River is overflowing.
Crap. Well, so much for their drought.
Yeah.
Why can't Hawaii have a little bit of that hurricane? They kind of need it right now.
Right after that huge fire. Gosh, that was. I've seen the
Jesus.
pictures. It's just. Whoa.
They oh my god, so apparently there have been predatory realtors that are trying to get in touch with land and homeowners in Hawaii and getting them to sell to them.
Yeah, that happens to any natural disaster, but of course it's Hawaii, so that land's even more valuable.
Exactly.
So it's like.
Ugh, some people are just so
And then,
freaking scummy.
oh, what's even worse is that the response of the U.S. government is, "Oh, we'll give you $700 since you've gone through this natural disaster."
What?
Yeah, that's like more than a slap in the face, that's just like, dude, a whole city was just wiped off the map by this fire. And you're thinking, and not to mention that there are hundreds, and I do mean hundreds of people dead, and you think that $700 is what's going to make them, get over this or be able to rebuild? What the hell?
Jesus.
And
I,
then it's just like, we're sending billions of dollars overseas, yet we can't manage to give like $1 billion to help them rebuild their city.
I bet New Orleans gets more and they get freaking destroyed every time. But oh, we got to make sure to rebuild Titty Town.
Yeah, it's like, God, nothing. I was like, if I knew that, there were politicians out there that were good and that were worth, making sure that they had the right, funding and stuff. But no, you look at almost any politician and it's like, you're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. That's not a bad idea, but you're still a dumbass. And you're a dumbass. I mean, that's basically what a politician is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, weather. It sucks.
Yes, the weather.
But yeah, I think earlier in the year, I actually, I actually, I am one of the weird people that actually follows a weather YouTuber.
Huh.
And earlier in the year, they were actually, he was going on with what to expect in the next coming months, weather wise. And he said that there's like two heat or battling heat waves that are here or cool areas, with the, or what is it? I can't remember exactly the words, but basically there's two hot, rainy areas battling their way right towards the United States. And that's what's causing all this
Hmm.
high temperatures and low temperatures and massive rains on the coast. That's why we have like what, three tropical storms off the southeastern coast of the United States. I had to actually pull up a mental
Oh,
map of the
Florida's
US.
got to be used to it by now.
Yeah, but then we also have that Hurricane Hillary that actually hit California, and so, and that's why we're in
Mm.
like a pressure bubble, because we also have heat that's just sitting in the middle of the United States, but it's getting bombarded each direction with a lot of humidity. So it's like, yeah, it's 110 out there, but I feel like it's 1,000 degrees and I'm
Mm-hmm.
swimming in the air because of how wet it feels.
Right.
Oh. So yeah, I go outside and I pretty much get drained just walking out the door. Weather is annoying.
Well, that's the cost of existence.
Yeah,
Not really the weather that's annoying. It's recovery efforts that are annoying.
right. It's like, okay, I can stand the weather for a bit and now I'm back inside. I'm dead.
Not quite what I meant, but yeah, that too.
uh, all right. So we've ranted about the weather for approximately 10 minutes.
Progress.
Yes. All right. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, because, I wasn't expecting something like this to happen. I also want to mention Nick Robinson's journey to Microsoft bimbos.
What?
Yep, there was a computer store in Japan called Microsoft Bimbos.
I feel like you're saying it different every time.
It's Bin Bows. I'm trying
No,
not
no,
to
no, no.
pronounce it
I'm talking about the
Bimbos.
whole. Oh.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Well, then you could have said I'm trying not to say the word. I would have known not to ask about the word.
no. It's really hard when Microsoft is and Microsoft Windows. You're used to that, but Microsoft Bimbos,
Mm-hmm.
and basically it happened in a few years ago, because that the building with Microsoft Bimbos uh, in Japan has been around since 2001 as a meme on the internet. So
Mm-hmm.
during COVID, he decided to try and find where that building was. And he managed to get it all the way into the city of Japan, or a city in Japan, or
I
prefecture.
was gonna
Yeah, the city of Japan. My brain is so fried from the heat. But
Oh.
he narrowed it down to a city in Japan, like an hour away from Tokyo. And during 2 years ago, he actually went into Google Street View VR and just went walking around the town trying to find the building,
The bimbos.
the Binbos. And he, it's so weird to say that, but he actually found it in VR, and it took him like a good like month or two to actually try and figure out where it was.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, the video he has of the original video that he actually went to find it was 34 minutes long. Now,
Wow.
and then as soon as Japan's lifted the restrictions on travel, he actually traveled to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally got to walk around the town that he only walked around in VR. And, the unexpected thing for me was that I was actually somewhat attached to his journey. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, I remember watching that. It's like, wow, I actually remember him seeing that building, uh, uh, and that building. I remember
The
that.
puzzle pieces are coming
It's like,
together.
this is weird. I'm not there. I didn't even actually go into VR to actually look at all this, and yet I recognize this. And lo and behold, he's stopping to switch over his mic so he could, or his equipment, so he could get better quality, just in case he was about to go find the building. And it was literally, he only had to walk like 10 steps, and there the building was.
Nice.
So it's like, wow.
Mystery solved.
Yeah.
One of life's greatest, most pressing mysteries.
For the internet, yeah. Well, actually, it's more for like 4chan and Reddit, because that's where most of these weird building related memes come from. But yeah, that was just weird and cool to actually see, he finally got to complete his story arc of this journey.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
It's amazing what you can get attached to without realizing it.
Yeah. I actually recently got attached to this YouTuber. I never would have expected this either, so like I get it. Um I get addicted to YouTube shorts like in a very similar way I used to with, TikTok.
Yeah.
And I was kind of on a like a kitten rescue video kick there for a minute, I guess. And then out of nowhere, YouTube's like, hey, what about this kid in Florida? He rescues fish. And I was like, what? What? Yeah. And I watched this short and I was like, that's, he's literally dropping a line into a sewer in Florida and pulling fish out of the sewers, like aquarium fish, invasive fish, native fish, you name it. They're all over the place in Florida, and I was like, "I gotta see what this guy is about," and I went to his channel, and now I'm like I'm binging all of his old stuff and watching his new stuff and then going back to binging his old stuff, and he's just like this kid, this adorable blonde kid in Florida, and I keep calling him a kid, but he's probably like 20.
Yeah.
Um, but he is very young. He has young energy too. Like he's so energetic and he's so fucking funny and he cracks me up. His name is Bobby. His channel is called Bass Pro Fishing.
You know,
Sorry, Bass Fishing. Wait, BFP Nation. Bass Fishing Pro? That doesn't. Is it Bass Fishing Pro? I'm gonna pull up his channel because he deserves proper recognition for being just like so entertaining. Um, yeah,
Bass
he
Fishing
calls
Productions.
Productions. Oh, yep. There he is. Bass Fishing Productions. He's he is like my official like favorite like Floridian creator. He's just so great. And he does rescue fish. A lot of times like um he'll find like ditches that were flooded by like a nearby pond or something, and those fish get caught in these ditches like in the grass, and like soon that ditch is going to dry up, and those fish are going
Right.
to die, so he'll pull them out, move them to the pond or whatever, and they're always like goofy or whatever. He has like he has a million ponds in his backyard. He keeps some of them sometimes, and like I'm like only in Florida. There there was one episode where he um finds an iguana, right? And it seems like this really chill iguana. He does like and bear in mind in Florida, they get like, oh my god, they get the size of like small alligators. They're huge. Like
Right.
they get so big. This one probably wasn't quite that big, but it was a honking iguana. And he just like picks it up, flings it onto his shoulder, and continues fishing. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing down there? Oh my god, I am so addicted to this fishing channel. I never thought I could get addicted to a freaking fishing channel, but Bobby makes it so entertaining and fascinating. I've learned a lot about some fish. You know? I know what a bisher is. I never would have known that without Bobby. Ah,
Yeah, I think I saw one where he went behind a Walmart, a pond near a Walmart, and
dude, there's like 4 ditches in front of that Walmart, and he goes there. Like he just did a recent episode there. Like he goes there. He's been going there for like a year or two now, just catching all those different fish, and like he theorized that like there was a time a long time ago that Walmart sold pet fish, and it
yeah,
was never a pretty sight. Like you do not go there to buy like they did not take care of them, and there was always a tank like dedicated to the ones that caught ick, or yeah, it's called ick, right? I think it's called ick, the like really bad deadly fish disease.
yeah, it
And
sounds
like
right.
they didn't take care of them at all. Like Walmart should have never ventured into that, but they did. And thankfully they don't anymore. And he was like, well, maybe they just like didn't want to kill him and just kind of like dumped him into the ditch, you know? And then all these years later, they've just been kind of populating, and they're still like, like they still get like flooded into and stuff, and there's like a sewer pipes attached to them. So like like just the combination of like all the connections and people just in general, not just like Walmart, but like people in general who just dump their aquarium fish into the wild, it's just like
That's
he's just
crazy.
finds the craziest shit all over the place.
Uh, yeah, people do weird stuff with animals. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how we ended up with what, or how Florida ended up with iguanas and what, anacondas in the Everglades and are all around Florida because
Oh,
those are,
Bobby fishes in the Everglades. He goes there.
yeah, those
It's
are
really cool.
invasive species.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
So are the brown. He feeds the little brown lizards, the brown anoles. He
mhm,
feeds them to his predatory fish. It's so great.
yeah,
There's a type of fish that pops up in his videos all the time called snakeheads, and they're super invasive, and they're not just overpopulated, but they destroy ecosystems invasive.
yeah,
So much so to the point where like it's literally illegal to um take that fish out of one body of water and put it in another. You can't even put it in a cooler. You can't even transport it. It's illegal and you can get heavily fined for it. Um I haven't actually looked this up myself. I'm going based off of kind of what I pieced together in Bobby's videos, but like but well, like what they'll do is he has a friend who does catch and cooks. Like he eats the snake heads, which is kind of interesting. Um, or they'll like euthanize it and feed the fillets to his predatory fish. Like, they make the most of
right.
it, and it's really cool. It's really cool to see how that works.
Yeah, yeah, the reason I know about the iguanas, I somehow stumbled on a channel where the it was for a company that actually goes out and uh, literally kills the iguanas or
Hmm. You're
whatever.
encouraged to kill them in Florida. You are,
Yeah,
yeah.
and what he does is he literally takes them all and he cooks them and eats them, and
Hmm.
that's what he does. He also
Yeah, that's what they
catches
call it. Oh, sorry.
he also catches small wild or the wild pigs that are out there too.
Oh,
And
yeah, that's something they don't run into very often on a fishing channel,
yeah,
so I didn't know that.
um, but a lot of people just don't realize that wild pigs are really scary.
They're menaces, absolutely.
I mean, even the baby pigs are nothing to be.
Trifle with.
Yeah, because they're not afraid of anything. They will literally
Right.
ram at you and knock you
And
over and
those
then
little
trample. Yeah.
pokies, husks. Yeah, I can imagine for sure.
I mean, yes, being trampled by a tiny pig that's only about a foot and a half big isn't much, but these pigs, these wild boars and stuff, get up to be can be anywhere between like 5 feet
Hundreds of
to,
pounds.
yeah, all the way. I think there was one that was like almost 10 feet long.
Jesus.
That's where you get the hogzillas.
Um, that's prehistoric. Like, were pigs alive with the dinosaurs? Like, how the fuck? That's like a horse, literally. I mean, horses are roughly 10 feet long, right? Like the bigger ones, like
Yeah, they are like huge.
maybe if they stick their neck out a little, like
Let's
they're not
see.
so prepped up.
Hogzilla was male. What it was, or what has happened, and why these pigs are so large, is because they are a hybrid of a wild hog and a domestic pig. And of
Hmm.
course, the domestic pig is bred to be big so that they can get a lot of meat and stuff. So
I've always right, yeah. So
mixing those two, you get a huge pig.
So they're genetically chonkers like me.
Oh, he was supposedly 12 feet long and weighed over 1,000 pounds.
Hell nah. That's like bigger than a moose, and moose can be vicious too. Like, that's. Hell no.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. There is, yeah, moose are just crazy.
Mm-hmm. If any of you like learning about animals, I highly suggest you watch Casual Geographic. It is very much PG-13 and above, but it's very funny and extremely educational. Good stuff. But yeah, he's talked about moose before. They're insane.
um, I once saw, I think it was a YouTube short, where two moose, male moose, they were huge, were
Mm-hmm.
fighting with their antlers and everything next to two parked cars, and
Oh no.
they were literally pushing these cars over. I mean, they were going almost to where they were lifting tires off of the ground
Dear
because of how
God.
big these moose were. And one was a truck. And the funny thing is that one of the got so rowdy and pushed the other moose into the bed of the truck. And then you just see on the camera both moose look at each other and like, what the heck just happened? And then they run off into the woods. Like,
That's
that was
funny.
hilarious. Oh, animals are both scary and funny and cool and cute and
There's a YouTuber called Big Tug that did a video about animals that like he wants to pet but will probably die if he does. And it's like it's 100% relatable. It's like, why are you so goddamn cute and like death inducing? Like, why do you have to just why do you have to kill me? I just want to hug the shit out of you.
let's see.
I was just about to ask if you were there. Holy crap.
Yeah,
You went too
I'm
quiet.
trying to, I have to be production also, so I'm
Hmm.
looking up everything you say.
Oh, I mean, if you need help finding that video, I'm subscribed. It shouldn't take me very long. Big Tug. I think it's two G's in Tug.
Yep, I found his channel.
Okay.
And of
It's
course,
fairly recent.
let's see. Why fashion is a nightmare
Yeah, that one's pretty funny. He's so funny.
in defense of cats.
Yeah.
Why vacations
Um.
kind of suck.
Oh, he was so right on that one. He hit the nail on the head with that one. I mean, I still want to go on vacations. Don't get me wrong, but like,
Right.
damn, there's a lot of like stress involved.
It's like you got to plan it. You got to get all this stuff ready. You got to actually go and do it. You got to make the most of your vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, and then you're drained. You come home and you're like, I need a vacation from the vacation. I just took a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Adorable. Oh, well, that's adorable endangered animals. That's not quite what I was talking about. I think it's a short because he doesn't have many like long form
yeah.
videos.
I only see like two things of them. Oh, people go and look up his channel and watch him for
He's
yourself.
funny. He's just so funny. Even if you disagree with something he says, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it looks like he has a lot of funny little shorts. Just looking at the titles, they sound funny.
Yeah.
World's worst Chuck E. Cheese employee. Cute animals that are evil.
Maybe that's it sounds very similar to what we were talking about anyway.
Yeah.
Ugly animals that deserve more love. Oh, silliest college mascots was a good one. Cause there is actually one based off that fucking penis clam. I think we're far enough into this recording that I can say that,
Yeah.
right? Penis clam. The internet knows what I mean. If you know, you know.
I used to actually know the name of that thing.
Uh,
It's like a sticky duck or something like that.
yeah, something like that.
Ah, let's see. So yeah, YouTubers are interesting. I mean,
That's the appeal of YouTube and TikTok and all that is like it's like entertainment by your fellow people, you know, it's not like a superstar that like
right.
makes, you know, talent and money seem so far out of reach. Like it's just people being raw themselves. Uh,
Yeah, and you know what? I've watched YouTube way too much. I spend most of my days just with YouTube in the background while I'm doing stuff.
Same though, same. Especially if I'm drawing, I'll have a YouTube video playing while I'm drawing or something.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I'm talking about playing games. Because it's been so hot, I've actually been playing The Long Dark.
Hmm.
And Long Dark is basically you're stuck in frozen Canada during winter.
Wow.
I think they're actually in
I'm
Lapland,
surprised
is
it's
where
not
it's.
a Alaska reference.
Well, the company that made it, I think, are from Canada. So let's see.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's basically a survival challenge game. There are two different
Is
stories
that
with it.
what you do while you listen to YouTube
Yeah,
videos?
pretty
Okay,
much.
okay.
You know me, I have two monitors, so I watch. I have the video playing on my upper monitor while I play games on the
Hmm.
lower one.
I've been thinking about getting like one of those little mobile monitors. I can just hook up to my laptop
Yeah,
and do that.
those things look cool. Um,
Hmm.
I've also
So
seen.
simple and
Uh,
cheap.
yeah, I've seen a laptop that actually had three screens for it. So what you did is you opened up the laptop and then you unfolded one screen and unfolded another off to the sides. So you ended
That's
up with three
sick.
screens.
Oh, that's sick. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Speaking of folding devices, I really want that Google Fold.
Um,
And the new Google Fold.
the new
Oh,
Google Pixel, whatever. Yeah, I don't think it's
yeah.
actually called Fold because I think
No, it's a
Samsung
Pixel
owns.
Fold,
Okay.
something Fold. Yeah. Samsung, I'm sure they were the I'm sure they were the pioneers of it, I guess.
Well,
Whatever, but
Samsung actually has a line of phones called the Fold.
right.
So that's why
That's
I'm.
why I said they're the pioneer. I was
Yeah.
thinking of they're like the original like foldy big screen phone I don't want to say perfectors, That's the word I was trying to avoid when I said pioneers, but they definitely put them on the map, you know?
Right.
And Google finally came out with a version, but like, or Google Pixel did, and but like, so it looks amazing. I've watched some videos on it. $1,800.
Yeah.
$1,800. That's all. Just 1,800. Goddamn. And you know, after taxes, it's probably gonna be over 2 grand.
Right.
2 grand for a phone.
Well, let's
I
check
think I've
Samsung's.
spent around 900 was about the most I've spent on a phone. And this is the nice like what is it, 22 plus or something. It's like when they merged, when I was switching phones, I wanted to get a Note, but I found out that they had merged their S series with their Note series. So it was basically the nice S phones with a stylus. and and then all the cool like stylus apps that came on note phones what came on that phone,
Right.
so it's like I freaking love it. I love the stylus. I love drawing with it. I can't not have my stylus now. That's going to be the only bad thing about, other than the price, about the Google Pixel Fold, is not having a built-in stylus.
Yeah. Samsung's come with a stylus, or you can get a stylus with it.
Yeah, that's Samsung. It's the Samsung S series, I believe, is
Y-
what I'm talking about.
yeah. That's their tablet series, but the Samsung Folds also, because I have it pulled up right now.
So the Samsung Folds have a stylus?
Yeah, those have a stylus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Although in one of the reviews I watched, the Pixel Fold, I guess, is like shorter but squatter, and I guess that's like better. No, wait, which one did he say was better? I can't remember, but like I think the shorter squatter one was the more appealing one, and it was the Pixel Fold. And then because the front screen, it does matter as much as like I'm obsessing over the giant inside screen. The front screen is like gonna be like your main like phone call
Right.
accepting, um, and I think uh it was like too long and narrow was the Samsung Fold problem.
Yeah, Samsungs tend to be longer rather than wide. It is.
Ah,
Let me see if I can find the dimensions on the Samsung page. I have the dimensions pulled up on the Pixel page, so.
I've been thinking, since I love drawing with a stylus so much, I was thinking about getting like a standalone drawing tablet, which is essentially just a tablet.
Yeah,
Like the one I have now was on the less expensive side, but $300 is still kind of pricey. But it's um you have to hook it up with two cords to your computer to use it, because it's basically a secondary screen for
oh,
your
you have one
computer.
like that. I had one that was just the sketching tablet a while ago, and I couldn't. The disconnect of looking at my screen and looking at or having drawing down
Well,
here and then having what I'm drawing on the screen was
no,
just too
it
much
had a
for me.
screen.
Yeah,
It had a screen.
I'm saying mine is the way mine was that
I
way.
know what you're talking about. Those are probably the least expensive, and I couldn't see myself doing it for that reason either. Like
Yeah,
it was I gotta see where device connects with screen, or I'm just gonna like, just it would throw me too much, I think. But honestly, so like I hated the because I had to connect it by HDMI and I believe USB-C, which I actually only did USB-C because the regular USB I didn't have enough ports for, because although my computer is freaking epic, it only has um I think 2 USB ports, which is pretty pathetic, but um, I already had a USB to USB-C converter cord, so like I was able to use that instead. And like it's so annoying. There's too much
Right.
clutter going on, and since it's so hooked up to the computer, I can't just like turn the thing however I need to like, you know they try to make it to where you don't have to, but the wheel that you use to spin the screen like only worked half the time. It was like, I don't know. So I've been thinking about getting a standalone, I think is the technical term, drawing pad. But they're freaking expensive. And at that point you might as well just get a tablet, you know?
Right.
And but I use my phone for all of my stylus drawing right now, like digital art right now. If I had a phone with that big of a screen like the Google Pixel Fold has, it would be so amazing for artwork. Oh my god. And I would never feel the need to get a standalone drawing pad, and it was just like, so it's like it's like $1,800 for phone and drawing pad together, like combined for me, you know.
Right. Um,
But 18, God, 2 grand. How do you swallow that pill? That is a big pill.
yeah, that is
God.
a price and a half.
I mean, I guess I can trade in my old phone, this phone, and maybe the one before it. Get every penny of credit I can. God damn. You're not Apple. Calm your tits.
Yeah, that's like you either
And I don't
go.
want Apple. Like, screw Apple.
Yeah, I can't. I don't mind Apple. I just don't want to pay the price for the Apple name. And
Right.
the quality of the builds of the Apple products has gone down quite a bit in the last few years,
Really?
in my opinion.
Huh. I wouldn't know. I haven't been using them at all, but
Neither have I, but originally they were like they were made so that you could actually, like throw them against a wall and nothing would happen. But now it's almost
oh,
like
those were the days.
I dropped my pen on the surface of it and now the screen is shattered. It's like,
Full spider
oh,
web, baby. Yep. Yep, yep. No, they're for ages now. Apple has been under suspicion of purposely manufacturing things in a way that you're gonna have to pay again for. you know,
yeah, it's like
all those replacement parts and the oh, what's, I can't remember the phrase for it, but like the ghost data, whatever, the downloads that are like
oh yeah,
empty.
the planned obsolescence updates
The
where they would limit your phone's ability to do stuff
mhm.
because it would use too much of the battery that's going that after a certain amount of
Yeah, and
time.
it would take up too much memory, and then you're like, oh, I guess I should upgrade.
Yep. Um that's why I'm
Shiesty.
the other thing is that Apple, you're only allowed to take these to an Apple store to be able to be worked on. We won't, and if you have
Mm,
anyone else work on your Apple product, we're gonna disqualify you from being able to have your Apple serviced by Apple anymore. It's like
mm-hmm.
this is why right to repair is so important. Um,
Yeah.
but the other thing is that these people who are being told that, oh yeah, it'll cost you about $2,000 to fix this $1,000 screen off of your phone.
Right.
Take it to
Right.
a take it to a phone repair shop. They're like, all right, let's open this up. Yeah, okay. You know what happened? The soldering went bad. All right, we just resoldered it. It's free of charge. Here you go. That's what most phone
Oh my
repair shops
god.
are like. And then you have Apple. It's like it was a 5-minute job. They popped the phone. Most of it was just removing the screen so they could see what the problem was. And then
Mm-hmm.
about a minute of them actually putting the solder on and being done with it. there were so many cases of that type of thing where Apple has deemed it repairable, so or too expensive to repair, just because they want to sell you a brand new product.
They're just like the stupid like guillotine of technology. Like it's like people who buy those fancy shoes, but it makes them afraid of puddles. You know,
Oh
like it's
yeah,
like you know you can't like fully. And I can't. I'm one of those people that like I'm definitely a klutz, and I probably shouldn't have nice things. But like at least I know with what I do have, my non-Apple products, I, you know, can get it fixed. Like the screen on my laptop has like a weird in in screen tiny smudge that like is definitely screwing with the pixels, and it's so infuriating. It's not big enough for me to like run to the repair shop, but like I know like I can just run to Micro Center and get it like switched out, you know.
right.
Or fixed if it is fixable, which I doubt, but you know. Oh my god. And okay, so you do still have to be careful with repair places. I had a phone that needed a new screen, dropped, cracked, blah blah blah. And I took it to a place called Break iFix, which is I believe it's there's a few locations here in Cincinnati, and I think it's kind of I don't know if it's national, but I know that it's spread out, you know.
Yeah,
I'd have to Google it. If you want to Google it while I'm talking, feel free. But um, I took it to Break iFix, and they replaced the screen um, and handed the phone back to me the next day with rubber bands around it. And they were like, wait 24 hours before you take off those rubber bands. And I was like, okay, I guess, sure, whatever, it's fixed. You know, I'll do whatever you tell me at this point, you know?
yeah.
um, so after a day, I took off the rubber bands and sure enough, dropped my phone again. The screen popped out of my phone though, with the case on it. The case was on it. The screen popped out of my phone, smacked the concrete,
That is
and shattered
weird.
again. Yeah, and I went back there, and they wanted to charge me for a whole new phone, or not phone, screen. They wanted to charge me for a whole new screen, trying to blame me. And I was like, listen, I know I dropped the phone, but the case was on. It wouldn't have broke if it didn't pop out of the phone. Like it was a very infuriating discussion. I managed to get um a decent discount, I guess. Um and they repaired it again. And I think the rubber bands were on it again. Um and lo and behold, the screen popped out again, but it was like not from dropping it. It was just like I noticed it coming loose again, and I was like,
Right.
fuck these guys, right? So I went to I want to say it was like a batteries plus or something. It was some weird little electronics store. And this guy took my phone, and he was like, "Where did you go?" And I was like, "I went to Break iFix." And he was like, "I can't hire people from there. They've been too misinformed." Like he said he's worked with people from Break iFix before, and they did such a bad job that like he's had to let them go.
Wow.
he was like he was like, I refuse to hire people that come from there. And I was like, oh my god. So what they were doing was, I guess for every screen there's a special shaped glue. And it's not like a liquid that you can control where it goes. It's like I guess a two-sided tape, but stronger, you know?
Yeah.
And it's shaped in a very specific way for very specific phones and their respective screens. And I guess they didn't have the right glue shape for mine and used other shapes from other phones. and it was not enough. It wasn't doing it. And he like he took my phone, he went into the back for a little bit. He came back out. He didn't have like the exact glue shape. He had something equivalent though. And he came back out and my phone was in one piece and he was like, "Here you go." And I was like, "Oh my god, how much?" And he was like, "No, you're cool." Like this
Yeah.
I was like, "You're a freaking godsend." I was with Sunny at the time, and we were like, "Do you take tips?" And he was like, "Not officially." And like, we like just shoved cash in his hands, and we were like, "Thank you so much." Like, so like, I got a taste of both worlds, like the one you just talked about, where it was like, you know, people who actually know what they're doing, and it was
Exactly.
such a
Yeah.
quick, easy fix where they're just like, "Oh, here you go, all done." And it's funny because oh my gosh, I kept his card for many years, like many years. And I was gonna call him and see if he could fix a TV. And he wasn't there anymore. I was like, fine. And he
Oh,
just like hung up. I was so mad. Uh but those are yeah, those people you keep those business cards.
exactly. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. So you do still have to be weary of repair
Right.
places for sure. Especially if they're um like corporate, like
Yeah,
um
because they can be those shady places.
yeah, just like black. It's just like
Here's the standards for if you worked in China to fix phones.
yeah, yeah,
Here's
you
the
know,
standards of, you manufactured China still manufactured the phone, but here's what, the quality it should be.
right. I mean, yeah, I guess that's kind of what I mean, but also what I really mean is like very corporate companies like tend to be like very generic
Yeah.
in knowledge, like whereas like a more mom and poppy situation, which is weird to think of with tech stores,
Yeah.
but like you know what I mean. They uh, tend to be a lot more knowledgeable and think more outside the box. Whereas, I just don't think like you hear horror stories with the Geek Squad all the time. Like
Yeah.
they have very, the only like really like mainstream like tech fixing company I would trust is probably a Micro Center, the Micro Center Mall, honestly. And you've worked there before. Would you agree with that, or
Yeah,
would it
I
be
would I'd definitely go with someone from Micro Center to fix anything.
okay?
In fact, I was considering instead of actually building my current PC, just going to Micro Center, picking out all the parts and saying, "Here you go, can you guys just build it for me?" And
Assemble,
yeah,
right?
you guys put it
PC
together.
assemble, go. Sorry.
I just did not have the inclination to drive an hour up there to go and actually pick out the parts and then wait a few days and then go back another hour to get up there to pick it up. So,
I know that it's probably not as easy as it looks to, because like at first, my first instinctual question is like, I mean, once you have all the parts, can you just like screw it all in and be done? But like, obviously it's a lot more complicated than that, like where the wires are going and what's connected to what, and if there's ample um cooling systems, like it probably is a lot more complicated than I initially thought.
as long as you know what the parts are named, you can actually do it yourself.
I mean, a lot of people do it themselves. It's just I wouldn't trust me to not forget something or misplace something,
Right. It's like
or misconnect something.
when I first got an M.2, I had no idea where the slot for that is on the motherboard. I'm like, okay, where does this go? Where does this go? Okay, look through the manual. M.2, M.2, M.2. Okay, I don't see that. I don't see that on the board. I really. Oh, it has a built in cooler that goes on top of it. I got to remove a part to put the M. Okay.
Nah.
It's like
That sounds like the directions fault at that point, though.
well,
If direction 1 wasn't remove this part, then that's their fault.
this was also back when this was my other computer that I had that was slowly dying. Uh, the M.2 was
The
pretty much a
potato?
yeah. Well, that computer could still run some pretty good games, but
Yeah, at the time, I guess, but that we called that the potato.
yeah. Well, the only thing that's wrong with it is that it needs a better graphics card.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it runs perfectly fine.
Well, that's the other complicated thing about building your own computer, though, because you have to make sure everything's compatible with everything. And if you get the wrong brand or mismatching, like maybe this can't handle this much, this, like
Yeah,
like you still got to be careful what you choose and what you put together.
yeah. That's mostly a processor issue. Is that you got to make sure you get the right processor for the motherboard you have because the pins on the processor, if you go AMD or Intel, are completely different. So you
Yeah,
got to make sure you
makes
get the
sense.
right socket and all that.
Honestly, I've used both of those and had no problems with either one. I
Right,
really
so have
don't give a
I.
shit between the two.
There's not, honestly, in my opinion, there's not too much of a difference. I know originally when the AMD came out as a brand and actually started making commercial processors that you could just buy off the store or off the
Mhm.
shelves, their processors did run hotter than Intel.
Mm,
Other than that, I've never had an issue with them. So,
right.
I think what I have right now is an Intel.
Yeah, mine's an Intel.
My last computer was an AMD though.
My old tower was an AMD that I gave to my dad.
On that note, it's probably a good time to call the podcast here because we're getting close to an hour.
All right.
So
We did it.
we did it! Yay! Now I got the freaking Dora the Explorer end song going through my head.
You're welcome. We did it. We did it. We did it. Yay.
All right. But thank you all for listening or watching, whichever you did, because I accept both. Remember
I don't.
to
You better be doing both, or I'm gonna come after you. I'll find you. Don't think I won't.
remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow, whatever it is on your chosen platform. Is there anything you'd like to say before we go?
I'm watching you.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bye.
Bye.